Welcome to Dateline Health. This is Fred Lippman coming to you from Nova Southeastern University. And you know, we try to do things, we talk about technical issues, cardiac care and surgical care and cancer, whatever. But I always tell you we have to talk about the health care of the community. And as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the great special shows that we talk about the health care of the community. And we're going to talk about therapy dogs. And we're going to talk about the Humane Society. So stay with us. And I'm going to introduce to you two wonderful people. First, I have Marni Bellavia, who is the director of the Animal Assisted Therapy Program at the Humane Society of Broward County. Marni. And we got two wonderful, what I call children. And here they are, Sydney and Karma. See, I have cards here. Although I know who Sydney and Karma are. Aren't they beautiful? Those are therapy assistant dogs. And we have Terri Cannici, who is a volunteer with her therapy dogs, pet therapy dogs. So, Marni, tell us about pet therapy.
Thank you for having us back to the show. We're very excited to be here. Our animal assisted therapy program with the Broward County Humane Society consists of actually, we have more than just dogs in the program. When we first started the program, we had dogs. Now we have dogs, cats, rabbits. We have a Vietnamese potbelly pig, and we have a miniature horse. So we've really expanded the program out to all different kinds of animals that can provide unconditional love and support and happiness, and visit people in nursing homes, visit hospitals, work with children in schools and libraries, teach about pet safety, and educate about spaying and neutering and adopting a shelter animal. So our therapy program it's huge. Right now we have over 100 volunteers in the program. Dogs, like I said, we probably have about 145 animals in total that are certified with us. And we visit all types of organizations and facilities in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach counties.
Well, as one of my true heroines, I'm glad to see you back, and I'm glad to see Sydney back, and of course Lola is new to us, is down here, and so is Buddy, new to us. So let me introduce Terri Cannici. Terri, you're a volunteer with your wonderful animals here. I just said that Lola is right here, correct? Mm-hmm. And Buddy's over there.
This is Buddy, yes. I was going to be a teacher. A lot of people don't know that, but I wanted to be a teacher when I was young. My career took a different path, and as time went by, I thought, you know, there's got to be something out there that I could do, that I can work with children. And when I saw this program with the Animal Assisted Therapy Program and the Wags and Tails reading program, I thought, this is perfect. This is exactly what I've been looking for. So I immediately contacted Marni, got involved in the program, put Buddy through the classes, and he passed, and he's just amazing. I just love it. And Buddy has been doing this with me for 5 years, and Lola, this is going on her 3rd year.
Sydney, of course, was with us a couple of years ago, but now we have Karma. Mm-hmm. So tell us about these wonderful animals we have here, and tell us why we have a therapy-assisted program.
Okay, so this is Sydney, and Sydney was adopted from the Broward County Humane Society. I adopted her. We thought she was about 1.5 years old, maybe 1 to 2 years old. Now she's probably somewhere between 10 and 11. Mm-hmm. And, well, she's just love of my life. And then this one over here, Karma, I adopted her also from the Humane Society of Broward County. She just turned 3. I've had her for 2 years. And, you know, they're just great dogs. They have great temperaments. They just want to comfort and be with you and love you unconditionally. We have a therapy program at the Humane Society so that we are able to be in the community providing unconditional love and support to the residents that are in senior facilities, to the children that are in schools, to people that are in hospitals. We work in pretty much every hospital in Broward County, along with, like I mentioned, several nursing homes, schools, libraries, through our reading program, through other educational programs, such as our pet safety programs and our pet overpopulation programs. So what we have found statistically is that people that interact with dogs or people that interact with animals tend to live happier, healthier lives. Statistics have shown that people have lower risk of heart attacks, heart disease, blood pressure is lower, cholesterol is lower. Just being in the presence of an animal helps people to feel calm and happy and silly. And our program is just, it's well known in the entire community. We actually could use a lot more volunteers. Even though we have quite a bit, we have a lot of organizations and facilities that are looking for teams, so we could always use more teams into our program as well.
Well, you know, the reason why I like to bring you all here is because not only am I, obviously I love the dogs and I love you guys, but the fact is that we have such need in our community. I mean, we have wonderful hospital units in our community. We have specialty units and pediatric units, cancer units, Alzheimer's, all types of units of care where we have heroes and heroines, our physicians and nurses and these special rehabilitative individuals. But these animals give a new context to happiness in those facilities. Is that true?
Yes. And I think a big part of that is because animals are non-judgmental and they do provide unconditional love. And a lot of the places that we visit, people can't have their animals with them. So it may be somebody that has a pet at home, but they're in a hospital, or maybe it's somebody that had to give up pet ownership that is potentially maybe somebody that's now in an assisted living facility. So bringing those animals into them it's a joy that they receive that they can't get from any other type of activity. Not that doing another activity, maybe art or music, is not enjoyable, but the connection that people have with animals far surpasses, in my opinion, any other connection you can have doing other things.
That's right. Well, and again, I guess, Terri, we're going to turn to you because you have found through your willingness and really life's goal is to try to help other people, particularly children.
Right.
You end up with these two magnificent pets. And I know that one of them has a particular group of talents. You want to talk about?
Yes, Buddy.
Buddy.
He's a dog scout, and he's earned a couple badges through his dog scout. One of them actually is from the reading program. He also paints.
Paints?
Yes, he does. He paints pictures, and we actually have given them to some of the children in the library. We've done events where, you know, if some of the children are a little bit shy when they come in and they're not sure they want to do this, and I always have a painting hanging up in the library and say, if you come in and read to Buddy, you'll get a painting. And that kind of prompts them to come in and do their best, and they get to go home with a painting by Buddy. Yeah, so he's very talented. He can do a lot of things. He's done a lot of things with Dog Scouts. He's a swimmer. He's been on television before. He's also obedience dog with me, so he's very talented. He's multi-talented.
Now, what about this nice little
Lola.
charming Lola?
Lola is a sweetheart. She loves children. She's from the Humane Society. She really, honestly, this is how she is when the children are reading to her. She just, you know, she'll just lay down next to them, kiss them, and just listen to their stories. She'll fall asleep probably after the 8th story, but, you know, she's attentive to the children. And honestly, when we first started bringing her in, they were a little bit nervous about being around a dog so large. So we used to dress her up in costume so that they were a little bit less intimidated, and now she's the hit of the library. Everybody asks for Lola. When can I come to read to Lola? And they're telling their friends in school, you have to go read to Lola. So the dogs have become very popular at this library.
Which library is it?
We're at Southwest Regional in Pembroke Pines. We've been there. I've been with Buddy for 5 years, so they know us well. A lot of the children that come in, they're a little shy. I can relate because I was painfully shy when I was a child. So for me to be able to help another child read and build their confidence in reading, it's so rewarding for me. I will tell children, if you have something in school that you have to read out loud and you're afraid to be in front of your classroom to read this out loud, come bring it to my dogs, read it to my dogs. And they get used to reading out loud and building a little bit more confidence, so when they're in school, it's not as scary.
Well, you know, Marni, we've discussed this reading program. That's Wags and Tails,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you explained to the folks about how, again, these dogs are non-judgmental, and I want to talk about that program because it's very, very important. We have children who are special needs children, or even not special needs, who have eye issues or hearing issues. Talk about it.
Okay, our Wags and Tails reading program is a reading motivation program that does exactly what you just said. It helps children to build their confidence in reading by use of a therapy dog that is attached to a volunteer who disappears in the background, so to speak, not leaves the dog, but is not really is there, but to the child is invisible because they just see the dog as the helper in the reading process. And the reading program helps children to become better readers, gain confidence in reading. It helps them to be able to clearly articulate their feelings about several different things. It helps with their literacy skills. And we actually, when we first developed the program, it was targeted for children that were between the ages of 5 to 12 years old. I have since expanded that, and now it's targeted to any age group. Because what we have found is that it doesn't matter if somebody is 18 years old and having difficulties or somebody is 3 years old and having difficulties. By use of the therapy dog as an aid to help to build that confidence, to provide that non-judgmental interaction, they're not going to laugh at you if you have a speech impediment. They're not going to laugh at you if you're wearing glasses or you have any other disability. They're just going to lay there calmly at your side while you read a book to them. And if the child happens to read a sentence incorrectly or make a mistake, we utilize the dog to do that correction. So we would say something like, "Oh, you know what? I don't think Lola heard you. She might have fallen asleep for a second. Can we read that sentence again together?" And then we can help them to read the sentence properly. We have also, in the expansion of the Wags and Tails reading program, we have also embraced through the school board of Broward County, working with their kindergarten, their pre-K, and their autistic group cluster children. So we are helping on all different levels for children that have any type of everything from normal functioning to children that actually have a disability, or could just, be needing some additional time and help in learning how to become a better reader.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really fascinating to me because I wish that we could expand the program and have more opportunities. I think I have a friend here.
You do. She's doing her job as a therapy dog.
Well, I don't need much therapy, but the dogs are, I shouldn't say that. We all do as human beings. But I will tell you this, that the animal relationship with the human species is something which is very, very special. Terri, tell me about not only Buddy, but tell me about Lola and her. I mean, she's so big. And by the way, these are rescue animals,
Yes,
correct?
they're both rescue. Yes.
Because I want to make that point. Why do I tell you this for the healthcare of the community? Because this is part of being good people in our community. I mean, these dogs, when they see you or help you or are being kind to people that are sick, hopefully that you're not the ones that have the needs of their therapy, but your grandchildren, your aunts, your uncles, your moms, your dads, whatever, when they're in suffering, these dogs are there to allay their pain, their anxiety. And I think it's very important for us in a community to recognize that we have an entity called the Humane Society of Broward, which, by the way, is one of the nation's leading humane societies. And I'm going to tell you very candidly that this is not a center that is funded with public funds. It is a center which is funded by private funds, by the ability that you might want to support. And I openly say I never asked for anything, but it would be not a bad idea if you help the Humane Society of Broward, which is on Griffin Road, just short of the railroad tracks. And I don't know whether you've been by there lately, but it's because of your generosity and the generosity of some wonderful human beings in our family that they have almost tripled the size of your facility. Is that correct, Marni?
We renovated the entire, we just renovated the building that we have right now.
Right.
They're looking for a further expansion. But the facility is definitely a state-of-the-art facility. We renovated our entire clinic, our entire kennels, our entire pet boutique, everything, catteries. We have big cat playrooms now for the cats. So the entire place has been renovated, yes.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Terri, tell us about this big old
This big
fella
girl.
there.
This big girl was in the Humane Society. I adopted her when she was about a year and a half, had no training. I looked up Marni and said, help me, please. She is absolutely perfect now. She did have to go through a lot of training, advanced obedience training, and learning how to, have self-control and so forth. It appeared to me that she had children in her first home because she was so drawn to children. So once she was able to calm down and relax and was, very well behaved, we put her into the animal-assisted therapy program. As you can see, it's very relaxed right now. But she's also, I think she's really right now, she's, as a Rottweiler, a lot of people were a little bit nervous about, like I said, having them come into their, having their children come in and read to them. She's a great ambassador for her breed because you don't see a lot of Rottweilers in therapy. You see beagles and you see pretty little dogs and labs and your normal everyday dog, but Rottweilers are very rare. So when I started bringing her in, there was a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of nervousness. But once everybody got to know her and know her breed, I actually teach the children about the Rottweiler breed and what they were bred for, and they get to learn about her. We also do segments on pet safety. Before the child is allowed to come into the reading room with me, we do a very short pet safety presentation with them, how to greet a dog, to read dog's body language, and so forth. So Lola basically comes with me to a lot of places where, in public, so we can show people that that large dogs are not scary. They're therapy dogs, and she's actually wonderful. She's really become, like I said, an ambassador for her breed, taking her places, showing people that Rottweilers and dogs that are that large can be therapy dogs. She's really helped a lot in that sense, but she makes a perfect therapy dog.
Well, I just this last weekend, I happened to be flying back from New York City, and I noticed that a woman on the aisle, across the aisle from me, had a dog on her lap, and I realized, because I saw the markings, the dog was a therapy dog. And I really didn't say very much, but she sort of indicated to me that the reason that she had the dog with her, it was a King Charles Spaniel, and trained dog, and she was fine. She said that she had dramatic flight anxiety, that she could never even walk near an airport, and here she was with this dog on her lap. It was just wonderful. Kept her happy, the dog was happy. And I know it's hard to believe, folks, that sometimes these things do occur, but I wanted to take the opportunity to make you aware of the fact that not only do we have such thing as pet therapy dogs, but we have this magnificent Broward Humane Society which allows this to happen. And if you want to write a check or something like that, just send it to the Broward Humane Society. You can even send it to Marni, put on the bottom. Marni, saw you guys on television. Of course, Terri, you too. But
Yes.
I got to give Marni a lot of credit.
Yes, you
because,
do.
this is her third time around with us with the pet therapy dogs. And it's always a very special show because all we're trying to do is tell the people in the community that we can be kind to one another, and we can be more communicative with one another if we just recognize what these animals are doing, not only for you, but for the people that you communicate with. And here they are. I mean, Marni, talk to me about some of the other things. I know you have a pet safety program, and I know you teach through the dogs safety for children too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually have our education department, which is where our therapy program falls under. We have a very large program where we go into schools in Broward County, and like I mentioned, we teach about pet safety, we teach about pet overpopulation, we teach about bite prevention programs. We also, a very popular presentation is career days. A lot of people want us to come out and talk about the different careers that people have. Volunteers like Terri will go out and talk about her volunteer position in our program. I will go out and talk about what I do for a living. We have people that come from our clinic, people that come from our adoptions, and we go into the school and we talk about different careers that people can have in working with animals and working in shelters and rescues. We have a few new programs in the Humane Society. We have, of course, our foster care program, which has been going forever, where we have animals that are too young to be put up for adoption yet, or maybe they need a little extra time. We have people that will foster them. We have a new program called our Adoption Ambassadors, where a person would take an animal from our shelter and market the animal out in the community to find a home for it. And then they go through the adoption process like anybody else would. But that animal is then in that person's home, as opposed to being in a shelter environment where they could be stressed and they could be very anxious and not do very well. We also have a program which is it's specifically geared to teach people about the American Pit Bull Terrier, but we also talk about all types of breeds of dogs, because as Terri mentioned, there is a very big misconception in the community and in the world about dangerous dog breeds, and the Rottweiler being one of them, and Pit Bulls and Dobermans and Shepherds and Boxers and Akitas. So what we do is we hold educational seminars to teach people about the real truths. We bust the myths, we teach about the facts. The reality is that any animal can bite. It doesn't matter what its breed is. If it has teeth, it can bite. And we've worked really hard to try to change a lot of those perceptions. And having a dog like Lola, who is a Rottweiler, who is one of those breeds that most people would consider a dangerous dog, having her as a therapy dog, working with children, as Terri mentioned, she is one of the best ambassador dogs we have, as well as we have 2 certified Pit Bulls in our program as well, which really helps to break those stereotypes that people have in the community.
Well, I think, you know, we live in often an overreactive society that's fortunately, unfortunately, driven by a lot of media content. I mean, you know, as growing up in Terri, we were talking about Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
You know, I remember when there were 5 or 6 television stations, and that was it. Now with cable, you got 300 stations, about 100 some odd public affair or entertainment shows where everybody's got a comment, which is fine. You know, it's, I believe very strongly in the First Amendment privileges, but you know, people are getting confused. They get confused, and I think that therapy dogs, in a sense, bring a lot of, like I say, contextual human spirit back to individuals while they're sick, or especially when you see them work with children. I've seen them work with children in these cancer therapy units. It's enough to make your heart not only happy, but your tears come pretty good. Maybe I'm just a softie, but that's what I see. And I'm very privileged to know that you're here today with the dogs. And I know we're down to the last few minutes of the show, but I just want to ask you, is there anything special that you would like us to tell the folks that we have not discussed at all?
Volunteer. We could always use volunteers at our shelter. We are never for lack of having too many volunteers. Our staff to volunteer ratio is about an 80-20 split, being 80% volunteers. So we could always use as many volunteers as possible. As you mentioned earlier, we are not funded by any government, state, city, United Way funding at all. All of our money comes from private sector, from people like you, from people like me, Terri, other people in the community. So if anybody feels, you know, that they'd like to make a donation to the Humane Society, we're always ready, willing, and happy to take those donations from anybody. Our Humane Society, for anybody interested in volunteering, is located at 2070 Griffin Road, and that is in Fort Lauderdale. The zip code is 33312. Our telephone number for anybody that wants any additional information about our programs and services is 954-989-3977. And we just love being here. We love being a part of this program. We thank you for having us all the time. And I agree with you 100%. Animals bring so much joy and so much benefits, health benefits and other benefits to our lives, that if I had to say what they are, I would say that they are spiritual healers. That would be my definition of what animals are.
Well, that's terrific, because this is the best part of the show. Come here, baby. This is definitely the best part of the show, because this enables me to get a kiss. You see, this wonderful animal is communicating with me right now, telling me that something is okay, and that certifies it. It's better than getting an A in classroom, and actually it's better than making a lot of money. This is it.
I totally agree. Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so thank you very, very much. Terri, Cannici, we applaud you for being a volunteer.
Thank you.
And introduce your dogs again.
This is Buddy, and the sleeping one is
And the
Lola.
sleepy one, the big girl over there. And of course, Marni, Bellavia, the director of the Animal Assisted Therapy Program. What can I say? My love to you, my kindness to you. I thank you for what you do. And I think the people out here are very thankful too. So we got Sydney, and we got your pretty girl. What is your name? Tell me your name. Can you tell me your name? No.
She
Okay.
could just give you kisses.
She gave me kisses. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Folks, I hope that, I don't know what, we didn't answer any of your questions because there weren't any questions, but I try to do this show because of the importance of us to have a good, healthy community. And I think this offers a comment to you that the way we can be healthy is by communicating with one another and show kindness to one another. That's what these animals are showing right now. And remember, these animals are trained as pet therapy dogs, and they have very special works, and they work with children and adults and people that are so sick and are in a lot of pain and need some help. So if you can, remember Broward Humane Society, and we appreciate you watching today. And hopefully we brought you as much kindness and love as I'm getting right now. So thank you once again. My name is Fred Lippman. This show is called Dateline Health. Until next time,